that said the games are just easy for us.
Yeah,
like, wow.
It makes a
Great,
difference,
cool.
doesn't it? It helps them, and you can see what they can do now when they are inconsistent. But like Frankie was alluding to right there, if they do, of course, qualify through, which they pretty much are now already, it's going to be a difficult off-spawn battle for them. They're, of course, very confident, 8-0, we're going to win easily. But think back to yesterday, wasn't quite as smooth for them as they would have hoped. So I think they're going to have to use a lot of that experience to their advantage. And even the fact that now they're not going to know what tomorrow even looks like in terms of who's going to be around them. So I think they, of course, missed out on an opportunity there yesterday in qualifying through.
I'm going to take a quick moment right here because we were kind of watching that interview, and it's so funny to me because, you know, we've talked a lot about the players that are already qualified through finals, and one of those players, of course, is Acorn. We started the show, and Acorn was kind of in the back of the interviews making all these funny faces, everything like that. The guy hasn't moved. Like, we just did that interview right there with Ritual Natures, and he was still sat down, seemingly reviewing games and everything like that. So a quick little sneak peek into the practice room I saw right there from Acorn. I'm a little worried for everybody playing tomorrow.
Well, Viv, what's funny is we can actually see if Acorn is still there because Frankie is standing by with Shadow and Virgo.
I am, and these guys are discussing what happened in the last game because apparently, Shadow, you griefed it.
Yeah, we kind of got keyed, or we keyed them, and then we kind of died, but it's all good. We got next game.
Well, this is the thing. It must be quite hard because you know you've got this amazing fragger in Virgo. So surely sometimes you just want to say, W key it, go and eliminate everyone.
I mean, yeah, he's like the best fragger in the world. I could just IGL him. He could just solo clutch whenever, so it's fine, yeah.
It must be hard to keep you on a leash sometimes, I have to say. Virgo, the first two games, though, placing third and fourth, looking incredible. What do you think is the key to those consistent placements?
A ver, ¿qué onda, Henderson?
Like, we just have our whole game plan down. We know what to do early, mid-game. We're quick on everything. Like, there's just zero nerves because we're just so confident. We prepared so well.
¿Qué onda?
It feels really easy, honestly.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes when players prepare really well, they want to stick to the Fortnite. They forget to trust their instincts. What happens when things don't go to plan, Shadow?
For us, that's not going to happen, so we're just going to win.
Siempre escucho bajo. ¿El qué se escucha bajo?
Well, I hope that's not famous last words. You're currently fifth
No
out of
creo,
19
bro.
for the
Estoy-
moment. So it is
te
very
cojo, está
probable
acá.
that you'll get through, but anything can happen
Bueno.
in this particular format.
Yo no
But you
creo
were
que se
saying to
escuche
me
bajo.
before we got into the interview, Virgo, you think you're going to win the next game?
Yeah, I mean, we can choose when we want to play good and when we want to just have fun, you know. I mean, we're on a hot streak, so we just had to calm down a little bit, but I think next game we're winning.
Okay, that means you guys aren't going to have fun, but we're going to love every minute. Let's head back to the desk. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Frankie. And yeah, Bolts, don't worry, we see you too. Man, I like seeing the confidence out of the duo. You know, Viv, do you believe that to be true, though, right? They're thinking, hey, we can kind of have fun when we want to. We can play hard when we want to. Now we're going to come in and get a VR right here, right now. Is that possible?
Dude, I feel like we have to believe them because throughout, you know, we started off the day kind of talking to Virgo. We were kind of curious as to how he was going to be kind of feeling coming into the event. Only a couple of lands under his belt now. He was like, dude, listen, after playing so well and creative, I feel so confident. I feel like we're seeing just that. I mean, the duo looks pretty confident to me in game. They sound confident out of game. I got to believe that they're winning game number 4.
And that must be hard, though, when you're Virgo, to have a lot of expectations.
Dice, hoy en la final de la Champions el Arsenal le va a ganar 1-0, sí, brother. Yo la verdad no la voy a ver porque no me interesa ninguno de los dos equipos que está. Pero en realidad que gane el mejor, bro. Porque PSG no me cae bien y el Arsenal mucho menos, ni lo conozco.
There's a lot of questions now that they'll be thinking about in the back of their minds, and a lot of those players in that practice
La verdad que no.
also voting, keeping their eyes
Dice, siempre
on this lobby as well to see
lo
how
que
the
se
whole
muestra
squad's
arriba, dice.
It's so cool, man.
¿A qué
Seeing
te
all this
refieres,
kind of unfold, it makes
Anderson?
me think of the Global Championships, which reminds me, don't forget, yesterday we announced some things. We have a beautiful graphic here lined up for you guys that may have missed it, but FNCS 2026 now looks like this. We got the Global Championship happening September 26 and 27 in Antwerp, Belgium. What's up? Major 2 has new dates, July 18th to August 2nd, with that last chance from the 3rd to the 14th in August. And obviously, don't super know what that FNCS solo online thing might be in October. I don't know, not sure, but keep eyes out because more information will follow. We've also in the blog announced power rankings, and guess what? Levin made a little video for us. Check it out.
This weekend, the best players in the world are
What the
proving
heck?
it
Why
on
no
the stage,
support,
but
man?
competitive Fortnite is bigger than one weekend. It's every cup, every finish, every performance that pushes a player further. Introducing Power Ranking.
Click
the
tiene
Battle Royale and
3
Reload
partidas
tournament
para
results
remontar y
built
poder
towards your
llegar a
individual
la
power
final
ranking.
mañana.
Updated weekly, you can track your global standing, share with friends, and follow your favorite players.
Shout outs to Big Man 112K for that video. Yeah, power rankings. What's really cool is this was built for the players. We got to show them a little early when one of their rehearsal days, hey, this is power rankings on the way. And man, it's so cool. It's basically just like a player's competitive resume, right? Just being able to look at a number and be like, oh, you thought you were better than me. Hey, what's this say right here?
I think it's really, really cool. Some of the people behind the scenes that, of course, work hands-on with this, we're throwing some great ideas around. Like, obviously, these power rankings can be used for tournaments that Fortnite themselves kind of put on. But then there was this great idea also thrown out there. Was like, well, it doesn't necessarily even have to be Fortnite exclusive, right? Some of the creators that we know and love can kind of use that list for themselves to also put on some tournaments. So just so many possibilities with power rankings. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting for sort of lower level competitive as well, for you guys out there at home that are trying to break into competitive and learn and try and find teammates on your skill level and improve together. This is going to be a really great way to actually find those teammates instead of people sort of being like, oh yeah, I'm really good at the game, and then you find out it's not the case and you don't gel. But it's like, yeah, I've got the stats to back it up now. I've got the power ranking, and I want to see if I'm going to be higher than Vivid in my...
Oh, crazy stuff. Well, I know that I'm definitely not on that list, so that's okay. But yeah, like we said, this is a great way for the players to see, and obviously a great way to kind of earn respect from your peers, right? And what's cool too is with the players all being here, they had a moment to say how much they respect each other. Check this out.
It's one day, 8 games only. A lot can happen. There's so many contenders, so it's gonna be hard.
The secret would definitely be experience, being able to consistently perform under pressure.
It's either you got it or you don't, and we happen to have it.
These are the best of the best, but I think we're ready to compete against them.
I'd say the biggest competition is probably Sky and Scroll.
Sky and Scroll.
Damn, bro.
They've been the most consistent team by far.
I think their average placement for the past season is top 10, which is just insane on EU.
They have really good team play, especially in endgame. It just sets them apart from everyone else.
I've known them for some time, but then they just suddenly became the best. They have the best duo chemistry.
They prove without a doubt they can play 12 games on the hardest region and make every endgame.
Biggest competition? I mean, I would probably say Shark and Teeny.
Maybe Shark and Teeny, to be honest.
I mean, it's gonna be Shark and Teeny now.
Shark and Teeny, just 2 very good individual players.
They were conned last grands. We didn't get a chance.
Este muchacho creo que va a ganar la FNCS, este chamaco.
Uncount, they could 100% be contenders to win, and if they can't, I would hope to see them in the top 5.
It all depends on how he reacts.
I think Kervin Vino has a unique playstyle. I would love to see them competing against the best of the best.
Vino, just when he's locked in, he could just do anything at this point.
I think the way to keep up is just your love for the game and wanting to be better each and every day.
One of the most underrated teams here, I would say,
Que
is
el
Victor.
chavo va a ganar la
I could see
FNCS.
them easily sweeping a top 10 or even maybe a top 5.
Surprise? Maybe us even. Maybe us.
Josh Rayleigh, he's up and coming.
Just his fighting ability, you know, like people call him the next Peter Bot, so I think that he'll really impress a lot of people.
過小評価されてるのは結構自分たちかなって思います。Koyota is like definitely up there. Maybe he will surprise top 5.
From Asia, Koyota, I think will do good.
I definitely looked up to Mr. Savage.
It's cool knowing that I was like watching him back in like 2019. I was just like
Mr.
not
Savage, yeah.
good at the game at all.
You're done, brother. You're done.
きついなと思って
Ya tú eres la vieja
なんか
ya.
本当にフォートナイトが好きなんだろうなって思います。
We have Thomas HD. He is still going and still looking like a very good team right now. I used to look up to him a lot, but I think a lot of things has to go in his favor for him to win.
As like, I guess the face of OCE, obviously I've got a lot of pressure on me.
I'm proud to represent EU. I think it's the best region by far, and I feel like we keep showing it.
The most important thing, I want to make my Middle East region proud, and hopefully I can do it in this tournament.
This is all I ever wanted, you know, since I was 13 playing, trying to become the best, but it's not going to be nothing if I can't take it home this
Cool.
weekend, so we'll see.
That dude ya está desarrollado. Ya está clasificado.
What's super interesting
Siento que en
about
esta
that
FNCS
video
eres
is
el
when you kind
que
of look
se la va a
at
llevar.
the kind
Va
of
a
like
ser el
breakdown of
Venom
there's
y
like
el
all
Fur.
these OG players who all these players looked up to, and now wait, those players are still on the stage, but then the people that were looking up to those players are also on the stage, and they're all kind of battling out. crazy things can happen in Fortnite. Life-changing amounts of money happening tomorrow that can change the lives and trajectory of so many of these players. I mean, Fortnite is, well, Fortnite is.
Fortnite is crazy, man. Obviously, there's a lot on the line this weekend. I know there was some regional love coming out of there as well, right? Some of the players kind of playing this weekend, it feels like, for their region, right? They want to represent there. Also love the last little tidbit, Cold being like, listen, man, like, I've been playing this game since I was 13. The only thing I've ever wanted to do is to be the best. But he feels like, yeah, I mean, we all look up to Cold. We think he's literally like one of the best players in the world, like probably like top 5. So he's pretty much like done that, but he hasn't won on land. That's what he wants.
And that's what these players are like. They're always striving for that next big goal. And it's like, even when they win, it's like, I want to win again. I want to go back to back. So it's really nice to see that, though. Like you were saying, Zeke, a lot of sort of old players, a lot of older players, I suppose, like 23, that are playing with these newer talent players as well. We were speaking about that a lot on EU. It's like, you know, someone like Thomas HD, a player that played at the World Cup, had such incredible longevity, teaming up with someone like Focus, a newer player coming on through. We're not sort of like shedding away a lot of those older players, which I think is what makes Fortnite such a fantastic game. Someone like Focus can use the experience of someone like Thomas to really carry him through these games and transfer that experience in order for him to go on and do great things.
I love that. And shout outs to Thomas. Happy birthday, by the way. Don't think we didn't not know, Thomas. Happy birthday. Man, such a fantastic time now. Obviously, we've got 3 games in our belt. We're still during the halfway point period, so why don't we look at some stats?
¿Cómo no va a ser ese contenido original, estúpido, si esto es algo público y me está mandando restricción que dice que...
Damage dealt Atrus. Well, that's pretty much why we're seeing them in first place.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there. We did kind of talk about the dynamics between which one. Atrus usually take
la de final que vi, esa fue la transmisión de... Fue la de Flash
by some of our teams as well. Craze with over 1200.
Ahorita ese Anderson está en las finales de la FNCS. O sea, aquí puro pro, bro.
That's right there, even with Mr. Savage, of course, leading his a lot of those materials, so many of them as well.
Todos los pros de todas las regiones.
Actually playing well in these end games as well. One of the problems that they
Ellos están en el break de medio tiempo porque después de 3 matches son 6.
Solo clutch as much as he possibly could. So, or Velo, I should say, solo clutching as much as he could. So it was a difficult situation for them, but now they're seemingly coming together now and having a little bit more success in those end games.
And I'm happy that you're kind of talking about solo clutches right there, because we saw that last stat, 60 solo clutch points for Virgo. I mean, what a better storyline, right? We were kind of talking about him all week as being this player that just seems so mechanically gifted and creative, and he jumps into the lobby, instantly is showing off that individual prowess. Love to see it.
So sick, man. What a fantastic, and just, I keep thinking like, man, it's been already so much fun, but tomorrow we also have a finals, right? Tomorrow, after 8 games, we will have a brand new duo with a brand new title, Summit Champions. Crazy stuff. The players are currently starting to make their way back into the lobby. We'll get ready. We'll get them back on that battle bus here shortly. Why don't we check in with our bingo card, see how things are going after the first 3 games. Turns out we've got a couple of these already ready to go. Let's hit him with the stamps. Boom! Ooh. 10 elimination wins. Swizzy coming out strong. Pixie game number 1. We saw that go over early.
We got to double stamp that one. 10 plus eliminations. Of course, we did have
de la FNCS. Es como el mundial.
Also go ahead and
para hacerte lo más abreviado, es el mundial de Fortnite que ganó Buga, como el que ganó Pireba. Ahí está jugando Pireba. Bueno, Pireba jugó ayer, ya clasificó, ya está clasificado a la gran final, que es mañana. No sé qué está pasando con mi audífono, así que para hacerte lo más abreviado, manito, están jugando los pros de Fortnite y ahí es donde están todos los mejores, donde está Click, donde está Peterbach, donde está, bueno, estaba Buga, pero lo desclasificaron, donde está Mr. Savage, King, Javi, de Hispanoamérica.
That's time, right? That's time to take a step back to kind of reassess. What do you think are maybe just some of the things they may have prepared or changed up?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a read on some of the players kind of walking around looking
It's hard
for
sometimes.
some emotion. Yeah, it is. I see Ritual right here, man. He's all smiles, shaking his head as soon as I said his name, so he's feeling confident. No reason not to be, of course. But yeah, the opportunity to go ahead and take a break. Obviously, the players can kind of go back to
Por las
practice,
iniciales
review, very
FNCS.
quickly have an opportunity to go ahead and get a snack and do anything that they kind of need to do.
FNCS.
What can you possibly kind of look at in just 30 minutes when Fortnite games themselves almost take 30 minutes that can kind of help out the second half of the performance here today?
It's optimization, and I feel like it's not something that we speak
En
often about.
5 minutos comienza el Game 4.
Enough, I suppose. But like being proficient in the Fortnite replay mode as a pro player, super valuable. It's a
La presión que tienen estos chamacos, bro, de ya jugando allí a ese nivel, está bien heavy, muñeco. Porque ahí se mira quién en realidad juega.
You're of course an ex-pro player. If you're not having as great of a day at the beginning of the day, do you then change things up now in this sort of format in the second half of the day? Do you mix everything up? I know Lemon's a fan of just ripping everything up and throwing it out the window, but how would you approach it?
No, I actually mentioned myself yesterday. I was like, nah, man, don't rip it all up.
Fortnite.
I personally, listen.
La F es la Fortnite, la N sería National o Championship.
So you're never in that situation.
Creo yo.
Never.
Ese ya me lo estoy inventando, pero ese es el nombre que le han dado, bro, desde que comenzaron los torneos allá en el 2018, 19 creo que comenzaron.
3 games left to go. The standings will tell us all that we need to know. The bubble
Esa es la board,
is
¿cómo va la
top
board? Bro,
19.
quiero que
We do
Click
still have
clasifique, pero bro, de ese bro ni siquiera están los 20, los primeros 20.
Sato, Podesai, they're holding on. It's a tie, but they're holding on.
They are holding on. Listen, I'm going to go back to that first page real quick because I saw something that we didn't have the opportunity to
Ahí
go
está
ahead
Click,
and
Click,
talk
Click,
about,
Click,
which
Click,
is
Click, Click, Click,
absolutely
Click.
crazy. When we do make our way back there,
En serio, mi bro, de Click ni
Alex and
siquiera
Records have actually been
aparece
top 19 throughout the day so far.
en el
Looks like
top
after game
30.
number 3, they did unfortunately drop outside of that. I was looking towards them because I feel like the big conversation throughout the day so far has been those smaller region teams. Quick comment here on King and Phaser. I have not seen Clicks and Higgs on the
No,
leaderboard yet as well, so maybe
Championship la sé. Championship creo que
That's tough. I mean,
significa
looking
la
at
S.
Chino and
CS.
Pablo, of course, as well. Sandy Strip losing 8 places right there, falling outside of that top 19. The second half of competition now for these guys is going to be so important. We spoke about them a lot yesterday. A huge team in EU coming into the major finals. They didn't really show too much. We didn't get to see the best of Chino
Puro
and
chamaco,
Pablo
brother. Puro
Wingu.
chamaco.
When it came to those major finals, they turned it up to 11. They were so strong. They nearly won the whole thing if it wasn't for Sky and Scroll's excellence of Spawn in game number 11. So now they're going to need to have almost that in a more condensed way. They clutched up at the second half of Major 1. They're going to need to clutch up in the second half of this competition. And of course, they've got 3 more games to do it. Thankfully, though, it's not down and out. They're not all the way down at the bottom of the leaderboard. I think that kind of would mean they need to try and go for a win. For them, they can continue to try and play their game. Keep an eye out for them off spawn, though.
No sé por qué TikTok me da advertencia que según estoy infringiendo los reglamentos.
It does not matter. You can qualify no matter what game number it is. As you can see, Mr. Savage finally taking a seat. Listen, we were watching
Mr. Savage ya...
and I'm not going to lie, Mr. Savage...
Sí, Championship. Sí, yo sé que sí, Championship.
To make it
XD. Mr. Savage, yo no sé qué anda compitiendo en los competitivos, bro. Mr. Savage ya está para retirarse, man. Está viejo. ¿Qué está haciendo compitiendo en Fortnite, man? Que deje las nuevas generaciones. Apenas está levantándote. Yo también, bro. Me perdí 3 partidas, bro. Me perdí 3 partidos.
As a newer coming player, this is a team that we were talking about earlier, the old guard pairing up with this new talent. And it seems like the new talent always step up to the plate. But for now, this is better than ever. This is the time to step up to the plate. The ultimate test in these final few games. Can they find it through a win? Will they stay consistent? It's all up to what Mr. Savage has discussed and looked at in this break.
El Mundial de Fortnite, pues vaya, para serle más
Somebody
específico.
else has been getting a lot of love from the crowd when he walks out. Clicks alongside Higgs. I think a lot of us had big hopes for the duo coming into the weekend. Honestly, kind of expected them to do better in the upper bracket, especially after game number 1 because they look good. But Mini, I don't want to have to say it, man, but 44th place on the leaderboard right now.
Well, we spoke to them. Levin spoke to them at the beginning of the day. He said in this sort of format, the lower bracket, you haven't had the greatest success. Think back to 2023. He asked Clicks, what's different? Higgs, is different.
En posición 40, brother.
And I think a lot of that off-spawn situation, they've been struggling in the early stages of the game, right? They haven't been able to make it to those later stages to show what they can do. I think they're one of the better teams in this lobby, if not the best, that hasn't qualified through, and of course all the way down in that
En la
last page of the
posición
leaderboard. So they've still got more to get.
44.
Like Vivid said, doesn't matter what place you're in, you just can get a victory royale, and you could be seeing that battle bus.
Dale, dale,
finals
Anderson.
tomorrow. Game number 4 is ready. So Fortnite fam, lock in. Casters, take it away.
For some of our teams, the dreams are still going, but for others, it could end here tonight.
La verdad que sí.
Obviously, we are still looking to try and figure out who's going to secure these last few placements for the Victory Royales and bring it to tomorrow's preparation.
Yeah, this being the second half of the day, where you're out on the leaderboard means so much. You might look
No está en español, bro. No hay en español. Es un torneo que está en inglés nomás.
Because it all starts here.
Here we go. Game 4. A ver cómo les va, chicos.
This is where you start feeling the pressure halfway through the competition.
No vas a entender, ahorita vas a ver
Matches to
cuando
be
estén peleando.
played out. We've got a lot of teams
Yo
that are
sé
looking
que
more for
Kim-
that victory royale than qualifying through
Kim, que es
consistency,
mexicano,
and they are some big names.
va a disputar Spa con Click en Cleveland.
It was just 30-40 minutes to try and get some form of review, and you have to wonder, were some of the players already in the player lounge trying to help them out?
Oh,
As
no.
Giannis cheat and unsuccessful off-spawn finish there. Giannis and Randu very happy to come out on
No,
top.
bro, de qué zapateada le dieron a ese brother.
Continue
Man.
to contest the top of that
What?
rock. Yesterday in game 1, they were contested, but they were going over towards Sus Studios.
Here
King
is,
and Craze had already qualified out of Sus Studios.
Y
So I thought
este,
that would have
este
been a
Saito.
no-brainer, but a whole nother team takes into the mix. But back to a fight that we've seen game after game after game here. Podesai, he's trying to try to go as far out as he can, basically leaving Saito by himself.
I drop Marius. They're above the cutoff currently. Now with a 2v1, can they pick up this free elimination, or is Saito going to be able to escape? They have the choice to play it safer, loot up, get mats, but looks like the aggression might come through.
Oh,
Just
no.
waiting to see whether or not Marius and iDrop know that they need to try and capitalize on this opportunity. It's one thing to beat Saito and Podesai off the off-spawn, but it's another to find those additional
pues sí.
eliminations. They're sitting at 88 points.
Pero el evento siempre sigue siendo en inglés, bro. Ellos ojalá pues inviten a la gente en español, pero el evento sigue siendo en inglés.
Disengage. If you're Saito and Podesai, you said it yourself, 64 points. That is the line as of now.
Wow, look, mira el Saito cómo quedó, el Click.
But you want to give yourself a
El Click siguen cayendo en
chance, just
en
like Clicks and Higgs here. This has not
King
been the
también
tournament
cayó
we
aquí,
thought they
brother.
would have, but there's still 3 games left.
North side of Wonky, it has been looking incredibly tough. Now, they had 30 minutes, refresh mentally a little bit. You had your little halftime preparation. Now, it's not a full day like a 2-day competition, but we'll see if it was enough for them to find something.
But what I was really trying to get at is whether or not players are actually going to be able to
Allá anda el
see
King,
if there
señores.
are other teams willing to assist them, because you might be trying to set up someone else to contest an opponent in finals. And I think that that could actually bode a different sort of issue for tomorrow. Zengi and Belusi, though, they have whole new intentions here. A little bit of a surprise, and Nathan never saw it coming still. Barely managing to stay alive, quick on his feet with the reaction times, but it's just not enough. Nev's too far away to actually close the gap. He'll be forced to disengage. Zengi and Belusi, though, looking to just chase this one out.
That was big for Zengi and Belusi. Nathan and Nev, they're so used to going up against Muzz and Sphinx. They probably saw them go elsewhere. They thought they were free, but it's that 1 second of letting your guard down that all it takes to have a team like this play aggressive, get that first elimination.
Yo que no entiendo cómo saben dónde están las personas, bro. Ellos saben dónde están. No, ya.
Nevs is backing up, lands a good shot onto Belusi, but how long can he stay alive?
¡Qué tortazo! ¡Qué tortazo!
You have to be careful as Nevs is not missing a single shot. Zangi Belusi forced.
El solo contra dúo,
Take it slow.
I get it. It's super tempting whenever you've got a solo to not fixate exclusively on running them down. But these are still all global contenders for a reason. Nebs is ready to step up to the plate.
Qué tortazo, brother.
Now, Lucy and Zaggy are so far up the leaderboard, they're trying to push Nathan and Nebs out. They're trying to push Muzz and Sphinx out. And that way, if they make it to Championship Sunday, they will be uncontested. It's going to take a lot of work, but I do think they are right on the money. Drew and Video, same.
Pero entre dos, brother, se le corrieron. No. Bro. Nomás. Oh, no, son dos. Es el dúo. Esos son otros. El rapper. Están en una mala situación. Están en una mala situación. Oh, no, please, no, bro.
This is where they've really got to turn it up because it has not been a very great day for these two so far, and the crouch sneak
No, King, no.
Those are the kinds of plays that we were sort of anticipating. We've been waiting to
Oh,
see
bro,
when
ese era uno de los que yo le
actually
iba,
gonna
bro.
choose to pounce. They've tried the split direction. They've tried the long glide intentions, but where they might just need to trust entirely is in their fighting capabilities.
Yeah, just kind of during that break, talking to a lot of the co-streamers as well. And even the chat's kind of all agreeing they need to play aggressive. This is like a shell of how Clix and Higgs have normally played in the NA Central region. They just need to find that comfortability. So many others have already, including Ju and Vidil. They know their game plan, and they're sticking to it every step of the way. And they understand that not everything's going to go perfect. It's about how you handle it. Careful, though.
Dice, para esos buenos niveles, dice, que nos muestran, dice, siempre llega alguien mejor. Sí, claro. Como ahorita el Sharp es el nuevo Peter Pan.
Until one shot is connected, both angles already covered. Initial does not connect, but the second will. 2 eliminations now for Gerald and Co.
That's a bit of an upset, too, for Epic and Pump, but Gerald and Mason are sick of having these long, drawn-out fights. They want to be able to establish control of Riptides
King is out of the equation. No. Qué tortazo, brother.
Max Pump there, and there's just no opportunity for Pump to really try and recover off of that.
Yeah, lost track of his opponent. A little sneaky lurk play really made them pay. Aegis and Ritual, one of our top teams on the day. They went through a contested fight yesterday against Reet and Cooper, who are already locked in for Sunday. Now we all knew it. Whoever might lose that battle on day 1 will be uncontested in day 2, and you're seeing what it does to a team to have so much more freedom in these games. Aegis and Ritual playing much like themselves on how they got second in their NA Central Finals.
With that, you know, comfort from leading the lobby, you can start to think, okay, you know, I'm pretty positive. I'm almost already qualified. Now they can start thinking of the surrounding areas. What are these teams that might contest me if they make it through? What players do I ultimately want to go against on Sunday? How can I stop that?
Qué tortazo.
And that was exactly what Vidil and Ju were trying to avoid. They saw repairs potentially posing a bit of a threat there, but also bearing in mind
Como aquí en el en el nivel pro, la mayoría, si se dan cuenta, les gusta jugar mucho con la zona. Como es construcción,
36 place, 47th, but in the last game in a single match with that 4th place, they've already bumped themselves right to that borderline.
son los mejores, bro, son los mejores. Acuérdate que para llegar donde ellos llegaron, para competir allí, ellos tuvieron que pasar unas clasificatorias, y en las clasificatorias tuvieron que demostrar y jugar con los mejores para poder agarrar el bracket o agarrar ¿cómo te digo? La puntuación para poder clasificar. Entonces estos son los mejores de los mejores.
Yeah, this is Aviv and Cam, and it's one of those teams where they had marked in the lower bracket. They're landing over towards Dark Dominion. Swizzy and Pixie in day 1, they didn't have the performance that they thought. So now Aviv and Cam, thinking they were uncontested.
Rotan la zona, sí, pero juegan mucho en zona.
Luckily for them,
Juegan mucho en zona, ellos juegan mucho en zona, porque ellos, si te das cuenta, su loot, usan 2 armas, una movilidad y 2 curaciones. La mayoría. 2 armas, una movilidad, 2 curaciones.
Decision is theirs. They can take all the time they want. They can disengage, or they can just wait up here for Reckless to try to move out of here and get Alex's reboot card, and that's when they can strike.
Don't want to overstay your welcome.
Pirba jugó ayer, Pirba ya clasificó.
Smelling the fight. Is it something
Pirba ya está
on?
en la final ya.
Continuing to pull further and further. The clock is
Mañana.
ticking. Don't know if this is the right decision, and
Si
they
necesita
felt that
clasificar es click.
exactly as they start to disengage.
Que necesita hacer un buen juego hoy.
And you are on the move. It doesn't matter. They don't need to stick around to find out. They've already got the surge they were after. Same case scenario here for Zangy and Belusi. 2 eliminations, trying to see whether or not they can come out.
Si ellos rotan la zona, ellos se mantienen alrededor de la zona nomás, pero siempre dentro de la zona la mayoría. Man.
Now puts Sato back into the sticky of whether or not he can actually escape. But luckily for him, Flixie Chap, all they wanted was damage.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is that break in between games 3 and 4. But look at this peculiar loadout here. 6 splashes, 2 different slapperoni pizzas, 4 shockwaves, and no, it's not an iron pump. It is a purple pistol here, and even a gold loadout. So they realize how hard it is in some of these games to not only get surge, but make it through relatively healthy. So now they're having a change in their game plan, hoping to make it work here.
Coming from the 4th place, though, was wondering after the halftime, will that fire still be burning hot? And it looks like it is with the amount of eliminations they've picked up. We talk about overstaying your welcome, but Deal Ju waiting for that reboot, extra bit of eliminations, plus
no.
As the crowd roars supporting in Dusseldorf, Germany.
No, bro.
Like this stuff from Boot.
Lo iban reviviendo, lo destrozaron a ese prójimo en el área, bro.
Whether or not they actually choose to continue the pursuit up against Minfield, the damage has been done. And he's going to have to just keep trying to see how much space he can actually create between himself and June Badil, but they don't really have to wait for me, you know, they can choose to just
No, ¿de cuál final? ¿De qué estás hablando? Anderson, no sé, eso no lo sabía ni la conocía.
That's just going to make it impossible for Minifio to really bring this one back.
Yeah, just a scenic stroll through the zone, past painted palms. They're looking over in that direction. They know he's somewhere around the vicinity, most likely the closest reboot van, but they want to make it as fast to zone as possible. They'll worry about that later. There will be second opportunities as Phaser King, they're both back up and standing after that off-spawn fight over towards Wonky Land. But in order to get that reboot, they had to move south, further and further away from where the zone looks like it's going.
No.
Despite King having gone down in the early game at Wonky, they're still 200 above currently. They know they are going to need more, though. They're playing that sneaky route.
Revivieron a King.
They've been doing a great job handling their off-spawn situation up against Podesai and Sato, but now how will they fare up against the likes of Muzz and Spinks? They're already trying to see if they can establish priority control of these boxes, but so far, no good. Muzz, Spinks, still trying to see whether or not they can actually break through. We know that these two definitely love to get a little aggressive when necessary, and they are in dire need of some comeback points.
Yeah, that is true. Marius and iDrop, they missed out on that top 25 qualification due to a tiebreaker that went down to average placement, and it wasn't even a full placement separating them and the upper bracket. Sphinx, you can see why they're playing so aggressive here in this situation. 281 below the damage threshold. Half of their HP already gone. You can see the desperation start to click in.
281 below the damage.
Marius eventually takes him down, leaving Muzz by himself. And he's
qué bombas move.
same fate. Marius and I
Bro.
1100 above and with 2 eliminations now.
There's only so much you can do. You're 300 below, and the opponents on the other side of that wall are over 1,000 above the threshold. They have all the time in their world, and that's exactly how they played it out.
Chino and Pablo, on the other hand, recognizing Sato, trying to crash his way into where they're currently boxed up. Likely another solo, desperate for some surge, but he won't get the chance to try and recover here. Chino and Pablo, still, they're going to need a lot more on the day if they really want to try and finish strong. It's an okay first half, but let's see what you got for the second.
Yeah, but this is the type of game we're needing to see out of Pablo and
It's a
Chino.
click.
A little bit more aggression. Get up early on that Storm Surge leaderboard. It's been the primary thing that has been taking them down,
Sí.
causing
No,
distractions in
en
their
los mats
game plan,
es bien
forcing their
importante,
hand
bro, de
when they
aquí.
might not want to. And I
Los
feel
mats.
like a lot of other teams are going to start to feel that
Si no andas
pressure here.
materiales,
It's gonna go
bro,
from a 2-tick
aquí.
zone into a 5-tick zone. So if you're not already down below that damage threshold, you need to beeline it there because that's a lot of damage coming your way.
Great job from Osid and Scary, though. Not getting shot, not getting cracked at all on their rotate in. Issue is 21 below. They have many duos in the surrounding area, so there will be opportunities, but they cannot take any damage here.
Scaranosid, though, clinging on. As long as you're above, that's all that really matters here. But Shadow and Virgo, they can really just have fun with it. But what I want to see is them back up the talk that they just administered in that player room during Frankie's interview. Are you really going to win it? Because they told us earlier today, Jacob, they were bringing home game one.
That's why I don't like it when you try to call your shot, and sometimes you just got to play it out because you never know in the lobby this stack how hard it can actually be.
This is the talks on EU. Is it a new era? Are these new players going to be the ones that are surpassing Legends, Legacy, like Mr. Savage is one of only 5 players to have qualified both for the 2019 World Cup and also this Summit Major? This is a big match for not only him, but also Akira Kurama. They're already in that cutoff. They're very close.
Dale, Anderson, no pasa nada, man.
But they are 197 below. They have not done enough damage. They've taken too much. The Storm Surge has already taken the pressure. It's on.
The one silver lining, though, this is a duo that can afford to have some missteps. And for Akira, things are looking a little bit grim, but even still, he's got so much fighting spirit left behind him. Spots out Basin, tries to get a bigger shot in, but recognizes he still has to just keep trying to make it into zone to begin with, but that'll be cut short. Cassie able to take him out.
134 points is what the cutoff was yesterday for 19. They're not there yet, but they're close.
That's what we'll be looking at here. We got a few games left. And if any of the teams at the top side of the leaderboard will definitely kind of open up the gap down below, but Savage is going to go down. Fellow is by himself. And Taco, Takata, there's 31 teams still up. 6 of them need to go down before placement points are even a thing.
But now's the time here for Velo. He's got a solid loadout. If he can pull off some form of huge solo prowess, this will be his best chance to try and shine. He's still having to try and make his way into zone to begin with. Overdrive grenade gonna send him forward. Still 4 left in the stack, but now the lobby closing in, locking into his position. He's trying to cover off every single angle while sending out shots himself. 27 below. He just needs one more.
Show us what you can do, Velo. Show us what the new era of EU Fortnite competitive is capable of. 84 below, you've lost your teammate, you've gotten an elimination, but the job is still far from finished.
Mr. Savage, lo mataron.
This chug, the pressure. It might be too much.
Yeah, and I think Josh is feeling that as well. Yamto's already down over 300 below the damage threshold. No extra heals. He has to go, and he has to go now. Koyota's there on the other side trying to block him out, and Josh goes down. And that was a big one for Koyota and Yuma as well, because now he gets a chance at the revive and much-needed surge.
Clicks and Higgs, on the other hand, trying to see whether or not they can tango with some of these other duos just behind them. This is the first time we've really seen them try to be a little bit more proactive with the off-spawn. And while that did net them a general success with that first elimination,
Una buena partida de click seco y se mete en la pelea, man.
a big-time endgame performance here. They need so many placement points to play catch-up.
Getting to the front side of zone is not going to be easy.
Qué tortazo le dieron al click, loco.
On that layer, Click's taking a ton of that damage, but still finds an elimination onto Agers. Much needed as well. Siphon's gonna fix the HP. Everything else could go to regenerating his shields, and we see how he found that elimination. Agers actually boxed up Clicks, and he made him pay.
What a shot. If you're gonna take out anyone, it's gonna be that #1 team on the consistency leaderboard. Issue is, it's all up to Higgs now. Clicks has gone down, dropped the Storm Surge to
No
only
te
11
creo,
above.
brother.
It's now active as well. At any moment, Higgs could drop below. He has to be careful.
One consistent narrative that's taken place all day long for so many teams in some of these endgame moments is just the fact
Una
that it's
eliminación.
short-lived victories. You find one elimination, you think the refresh is all yours for the duo to share, and then somebody else just takes you out along the way. Chap Flixie hoping to try and change that fact as they continue to make their way forward, but the way that the zone is pulling players are going to be able to send it on height. Some of these connections can be difficult to keep track of, and for Pix and Ghost, they're looking to see if they can actually take over.
Yeah, from where the zone was to where the zone is at now, there's a little bit of a hill that they are having to go up, and that's where you're seeing a lot of shockwaves come into play and an opportunity to try to steal away the high ground. But for Chino and Pablo Wingu, they're just taking what they can get. This is one of their best games so far on the day today. They really need to continue to make this one count.
He's down.
It's looking bright up in the clouds, continuing to rain it down above while that chaos unfolds below. Velo, he's still up. The solo clutch continues. He's got 43 builds. He's got enough rotations, heals. He's got everything he needs.
No.
It is all on you, Velo.
We've seen Virgo get 60 points off the solo
Peek
clutch.
and
Now
click
Velo
are
trying to
gone.
see if he can take it one step above, but it's going to be difficult with so many other contenders still in the lobby. Visuals finds a refresh, trying to see if he can send it forward, but the team on height doing a great job at limiting his options. Sports try and box up, but immediately gets caught out by Nosif. Whether or not he survives it is another story entirely, but Flixie and Chap, they are fully in control of this secondary height layer, a little bit isolated, trying to remain directly underneath the team on height, also looking to take advantage of the other duo surrounding them. Alex, Reckless going to have some issues here as Flixie and Chap refuse to give up front side.
And somehow Velo slips by unnoticed up until now. He gained the attention of Flixie. Chap as well. High ground now putting pressure. He's out of build and needs a miracle here to survive because he has no extra heals. 63 HP. His run will come to an end. But for Chap and Flixie, this is the run they were looking for.
It's just getting started. Already pushed up to 112 points. They started off the day with nothing last game in fourth, and now once again we're seeing them to continue thriving in the end game. Meanwhile, Shadow Virgo, they called it. We're winning next game. They said it's gonna be easy. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Was it a pre-fire or was it just straight up premonition? Shadow Virgo trying to make sure that they can bring this one home, but they'll have to deal with the swords of Flixie and Chap. They are really building so much momentum right now on this front side layer. 7 eliminations in total, still trying to track down more. Every single edit opening up, leading to shots sent into other players, and nobody is anywhere near just yet, but can they make it over this next clip phase?
Trying to make it as calculated as possible. Fizz bomb going down. They have their eyes set in the clouds. High ground we go, and you can even attach to some of these trees. They got to use that to try to take the high ground.
Qué totazo.
But in comes a third party. Shadow and Virgo, they want some of this fun. They get the elimination onto Flixie, dropping him down further and further into all that chaos. Chap, he's now the only hope for their team.
Issue is he's left as a solo. 5 elims on the board. Can he continue racking it up? Back and forth. He hits the shot needed. But Shadow Virgo continuing to rain down from above. The issue is it's a full do on low. Pablo, Chino, can you make it happen?
This is the moment they've been waiting for. It is their
La final, brother, es básicamente un buen placement. Andar mats y mantenerte en un buen placement de altura.
Finally, Chino will bring him down. Chino and Pablo have the world at their feet, but it's all up to whether or not
Chino y Pablo ayer no pasaron, brother.
shut this one down. Shadow goes up. High ground control still heavily in their favor. And Pablo's finish. It's all up to whether or not Chino can actually bring this one back, but he only has a sliver of HP. But yet still, Chino returning fire and Virgo finding the final shot.
They called their shot. They said, we are qualifying for Sunday. Whether it was consistency or victory royale, they have kept their word. They have showed up and showed out here on the big stage.
It's rare that I am speechless, but you made a prediction before this game that you were going to take the victory royale. Virgo, you just said, what did I say? You said you're going to get the victory royale. What was that last moment like?
I mean, we just went for a power play on height. Shadow just said missed up. We went up, eliminated them, and we just won the game from there. It was pretty easy.
You're always keeping your eyes up top, boys. How are you keeping calm in those last moments?
Like I said, we're the best team, and I knew we were going to win that game no matter what. So yeah, when we try, we lock it.
You definitely locked in.
No eran los favoritos del día, pero es que ellos jugaron ayer.
Sunday. There's just 8 games now between you and that
Y no le fue
trophy.
bien.
Do you really think you don't have tough
Porque
competition?
el formato está hecho así.
But I think we can compete with them.
Son 150 concursantes, ¿no?
How are you guys managing to be so confident? The fact that you just
50
called this victory
dúos
royale is something else.
I mean, it really is
Jugaron
just all
ayer.
practice. You know, we're the hardest grinding teammates. Like, we play all day.
En
we
el
both
higher
moved to
bracket.
Dallas, we went away from home and
Se
it all paid off.
quedaron
Well, you know what? We could
25
never have
dúos
predicted this back in
esperando.
2024. You
Los
guys are the
perdedores
duo placed
de los
30th.
50 dúos
Now
de
they're
ayer
looking like they could
juegan
take
con
number
con los
one.
del segundo
More
bracket,
games
que
after
son los que
this
están
break.
hoy. Y en eso está incluido el Click, que jugó ayer. Entonces ahora solamente queda sacar los 25 dúos que clasifiquen hoy, juegan con los 25 dúos que ya están clasificados, los que se clasificaron ayer. Y ahí esa va a ser la gran final. Creo que son 8 partidas mañana, ya no son 6, son 8. Yo pienso que los favoritos para ganar es Venus y PewDiePie, por supuesto.
Wait, if you're mid, wait. 100! 100! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Voy a tener un café, chicos, voy a tener un café.
Fortnite fam, welcome back to the FNCS Summit. Game number 4 goes on over to Shadow and Virgo. Do you understand? Listen, Fortnite fam, come here. Camera, zoom in more. Do you understand as a player? No, more. Players in the halftime show, Shadow and Virgo are like, hey, we're going to go in and we're going to win this next game. And then they go on to do it. Do you understand how crazy, as an idea, keep zooming, keep going. You understand how
I can see your pause.
That's good. Production probably hates me. My gosh, Shadow and Virgo, what the heck? They are built different. Do you, again, at this level of competition, Dakota, to be like, yeah, man, we're really good, we're gonna go ahead, we'll just win the next game, to then win the next game.
They're not liars. That's one thing I can confirm. They do not lie. You've got arguably the best in the world in creative Virgo, IG held by Shadow. I mean, they called it, they did it, and they did not disappoint.
I really liked the way they did it as well. I think when you look at a lot of the hype takes we saw yesterday, it wasn't as crazy. It wasn't the type of hype takes we were seeing for the majority of the season where you had people playing really deep in the zone and looking to try and make these shot plays upwards with Fizz. This time around, Shadow goes flying up, he hits the bang, and that's exactly what we've seen them do in NA all season long. A very impressive game from a very impressive duo, and a duo that, again, even though they were here in the lower bracket, every team in that Sunday final has to watch out for these two.
Scary stuff. I just can't get over that, dude. My mind is blown to call for that victory out and then immediately come on stage and do it. Wow. Shadow and Virgo, they will definitely be a force to be reckoned with tomorrow. And I feel like this is kind of one of those situations where if I'm a team and I'm maybe even considering doing something like contesting them, I'm thinking like, yo, they just pulled out aura.
Shivers. I'd be scared. I mean, with the amount of confidence they have in those creative-like situations, right? When you're taking a clean 2v2, no third party involved, no other teams trying to join the party uninvited, you don't want to go against Shadow and Virgo.
I got to see these standings. I got to see standings, right?
Let's do it.
We got to do it. Dude, we have 2 games left to go. At the top, Ager's Ritual still holding on. Ignore the -1. Don't worry about it. That just means another team moved on up. They got themselves a victory royale. Pablo and Chino. Oh my gosh. Suddenly 7th place. Up 18 places to Okada. This is why we say, man, one game can change it all. 11 for them. That was their game.
Absolutely. Speaking of players saying things before the halftime break or during the halftime break and delivering on it, I asked Chino, I saw him in the corridor and I said, yo, bro, what's happening? He said, Lev, man, we just can't get to endgame. I don't know what's happening. We're feeling good, but we just aren't able to get there. This game, he told me, look, we're going to look to continue